All right, let's talk about cash management. So we have the routine task of overseeing cash and also not just cash, but liquid assets. So we're going to look at what liquid assets are. They are usually held in either cash or they can easily be converted into cash with little or no loss to the value of that liquid asset. So if we efficiently manage our cash, this is going to ensure that there are adequate funds for both our household use and as well as our savings. This is very important that you can manage your cash. So when we talk about liquid assets, remember those are either cash or can easily be converted into cash. Here are some of the more popular types of accounts. Okay, so you can see the spring 2018 rate, and there has been an increase since 2008. But if you look at of course, today, these may have changed. They may have gone down or they may have gone up. But this was the 2018 rate. Okay, so historically, there were low rates in 2007, 2008. So the 5-year Treasury notes yielded 4.43%. So right now we're having, in 2018, we were having a historically low rate. So as we were talking about, the spring rate is low. There are economic effects on this. With low interest rate, the stock prices tend to rise. Okay, and it's a good time to purchase large long-term assets such as cars or houses because of that low interest rate. But these low rates also indicate sluggish economic growth. There is an increase of deflation. It does help federal government pay its debts. Okay, but they also impact retirement income, which is funded with investment income. So these low rates, there are advantages and disadvantages to these. All right, so the impact of low rates, historically, it was 8.5%. In 2018, it was 3%. So it discourages savings. And then it also encourages investors to take more risk to try to get a higher return. And then the inflation adjusted rate may be negative, and it also penalizes those who have been saving. Okay, I want to talk about these interest rates a little bit more, and just show you what a low interest rate, how it affects. So the first one, your book gives you an example of investing, and let me close this over here. So if you invest $25,000, how different interest rates will affect how much your money grows or how much interest you make. So let's say that you invest for 5 years at a rate of 2.7%. And then let's say that was in April 2018, and what it would look like if you invested at the 2007 average rate. So let's say the average rate was 4.43%. And then let's look at if you invested at the 2007 lowest interest rate, which was 0.62%. So what I did was I used the interest times rate times time. So I did 25,000 times the one, because the one will include the initial 25,000, and then I put the percentage 0.027. So that will give us our 25,000 plus our interest. And we're doing that to the fifth power because we're doing this for 5 years. So this is how much our money would grow from 25,000 to 28,562. Now let's look at it if it was 4.43%. So you're going to do 25,000 times 1.0443 to the fifth power, and look at that. Now you can do this in the calculator. I'm just showing you in Excel just because it's easier to show you than pulling up the calculator. Now, let's look at how much it would change if it was at the lowest rate in 2007. So you would do 25,000 times 1.0062 to the fifth. So this shows you that when interest rates are high, look at the difference there between the highest and the lowest. So here your money grew 6,000 versus here your money only grew about $784 over a period of 5 years. So the interest rates do have an effect on money, and you are penalized for saving when they're low. So I want to talk a little bit more about these low interest rates. So low interest rates, they are going to favor the borrowers because they can borrow, not have to pay so much interest to do that. So it's a good time to buy a car or purchase a home and lock in a low interest rate. But what it doesn't favor are the savers because they don't make much on savings when the interest rate is low. So what happens when interest rates are low is the economy is usually not doing so well, and savers have to dig into that savings, which is not good for the saver. So one statistic I wanted to share is the percentage of savings from disposable income. So the income you have left, the percentage of that you're going to put into savings. Well, from 1947 to 2018, most the average percentage of savings was 8.5%. So whatever disposable income a household had, they would put about 8.5% into savings. Well, in 2018, that fell about 3%. So that just shows you how people are not putting as much of their income into savings. So what do you do as a saver when there are low interest rate, when the economy has a low interest rate? Well, a lot of times what savers will end up doing is they'll find an investment with a higher rate of return. And usually this is going to be some sort of stock. And usually these are riskier. Okay, they're going to be more riskier than bonds. They're going to have a higher interest rate, and mainly because they are riskier. So that just shows you how low interest rates impact a household, especially for your savers.